Welcome back to our session called The Power of God's Story in Your Life. Hopefully, the leadership timeline exercise has reinforced how God has had his eye on you your entire life. If you get a chance to look at my timeline, feel free to look. It's an example that could help you. It was a really reflective process for me that allowed me to look at the people and circumstances that have shaped my life. My chapters are based on a series of boats, going from small and slow to big, and now shifting to flight, actually. The timeline showed me how, even when my life felt like it was going nowhere, how God continued to place people and circumstances in my life for me to learn from and ultimately develop me as a leader. He's been doing the same for you. Here are a few things that we know about leadership development. Number one, leadership development takes time. God develops people over a whole lifetime. There is no such thing as an insta-leader. You cannot become spiritually mature overnight. You can't even go to a weekend seminar and learn everything you ever needed to know. It just takes time and continual growth over years and decades. When I look at my timeline spreadsheet, it is small, but it represents 50 plus, I know, years of God at work in a life. I know I look younger, right? Number two, leadership development is a process with God's curriculum. God allows, in his sovereignty, or brings people, events, and circumstances into our lives to prepare us for his purposes. This is a long view process where he prepares not just for our current projects and situations that we're living in, but also for the future. Some of the things I'm doing now, I can look back to my 20s and see how God was preparing me even then for what I'm doing now. God took me through a curriculum with highs and lows that helped develop my character, my heart, and my skill set. Number three, leadership development takes a response from us. Well, God will always give us opportunities to develop. The actual development depends on our response. Are we willing to take the opportunities he gives us? Are we willing to face our fears or face difficulties? Our response and the processing or working through of a specific issue will determine our growth, preparation, and availability for God's purposes. When you are faithful, you will find the opportunities will come because God finds you trustworthy. Number four, development takes actually learning the lessons and applying the principles God is teaching. Too many times we can go through all kinds of processes, both good and bad in our lives, but fail to evaluate where we're at and how we got there, and therefore not learn the principle or lesson that God intended from the experience. Do you ever feel like you circle around the same issue again and again? Well, this may be because you are failing to learn God's lesson and principle, and he'll just keep bringing it back onto our attention until we finally get it. We can learn so much from looking at our mistakes or our trouble areas. Number five, mentoring others helps develop us. Basically, when we give, we also receive. Our growth is accelerated when we help other people to grow. I've had so many interns and apprentices over my working life, and I am amazed at how they teach me, challenge me, sharpen me as I give them my time and my input. When we pass on the lessons and the principles that God has taught us, it cements them within us. You see this in the New Testament when Paul said that he was simply passing on what I have received. As followers of Jesus, we must see the development of others as a primary responsibility that we've been given. And number six, finally, our development takes continual personal growth. Life and leadership is not a static thing where we will ever arrive. When we're open to learning, God takes us up on it. And so I take this stance. I am a lifelong learner. I will never stop learning, not until the day I take my final breath. This mindset helps fight against pride, self-sufficiency, and independence. And it also takes the pressure off because, hey, I'm a work in progress. So, how do we learn? Well, we learn first from responsibilities. What was your first job? For me, I made burgers at McDonald's and then tree planted all through college. With those first jobs, I began to develop a skill set. I needed to be fast, organized, determine priorities, and receive direction from just about everyone else in the restaurant and on the forestry block. I was the lowest on the food chain. Your job responsibilities have given you a skill set. Most of us don't feel adequate when we start a new thing, but that is how we learn. We tend to grow into our responsibilities. Relationships. That's another way we learn. Mentors, peers. We watch people all the time. And so what do we want to do or what we don't want to do as we look at those leaders? It's all formative. One of my mentors is a leader named Doug, and he was a master at leading a team and leading team meetings. I watched how he led and how he continually gave away leadership opportunities to others on the team to see them flourish and grow. And I definitely attempted, maybe not perfectly, but to emulate those gifts that I saw in action. Another way we learn is through training and education, both formal and informal. I went back to grad school in my 40s to do a master's in leadership. You may be offered professional development through your work or hey, even this course. This is an education piece for you. And then there are shaping experiences. Oh, these are unique experiences, exposures, failures, hardships. An example of one common one is if you've ever been on a short-term mission. You learn a boatload of things in a very short period of time. You learn about yourself, your stress behavior. You learn about others as the team drives you nuts. You start to learn about a new culture and language, and you learned about God all in a 2-week trip. It was a trip like that for me, which launched me into a whole new phase of spiritual growth and life with a new Holy Spirit boldness. Your timeline has hopefully highlighted some of your unique shaping experiences. It might be a job transition, it could be a significant illness, or an amazing adventure. Okay, enough from me. Now it's your turn. We want to take some significant time for you to debrief some of the key pieces from your timelines. Go after it.